As Bousset has plausibly suggested, the duality of the apocalyptic Christ is the outcome of Jewish Gnostic speculations, whose echoes we hear in the traditions mentioned above. The intensive preoccupation of the Gnostics with the problem of evil stands out in startling contrast to the peremptory nullification of it by the Church Fathers, and shows that this question had already become topical at the beginning of the 3rd century. In this connection we may recall the view expressed by Valentinus that Christ was born not without a kind of shadow, and that he afterwards cast off the shadow for himself. Valentinus lived sometime in the first half of the 2nd century, and the Apocalypse was probably written about AD 90, under Domitian. Like other Gnostics, Valentinus carried the Gospels a stage further in his thinking, and for this reason it does not seem to me impossible that he understood the shadow as the Yahwistic law under which Christ was born. The Apocalypse and other things in the New Testament could easily have prompted him to such a view, quite apart from the more or less contemporaneous ideas about the demiurge and the prime ogdoad that consists of light and shadow. It is not certain whether Origen's doubt concerning the ultimate fate of the devil was original. At all events, it proves that the possibility of the devil's reunion with God was an object of discussion in very early times, and indeed had to be if Christian philosophy was not to end in dualism. One should not forget that the theory of the privatio boni does not dispose of the eternity of hell and damnation. God's humanity is also an expression of dualism, as the controversy of the monophysites and the diophysites in the early church shows. Apart from the religious significance of the decision in favour of a complete union of both natures, I would mention in passing that the monophysite's dogma has a noteworthy psychological aspect. It tells us, in psychological parlance, that since Christ as a man corresponds to the ego, and as God to the self, he is at once both ego and self, part and whole. Empirically speaking, consciousness can never comprehend the whole, but it is probable that the whole is unconsciously present in the ego. This would be equivalent to the highest possible state of completeness or perfection.